So today I wanted to talk about teaching our kids about financial responsibility. Do you have a child who is forgetful or maybe absent-minded at times? We all do. We all do. Kids, they're kids. So sometimes they forget about stuff. Sometimes they're selective about the things that they remember. So in my situation, and I'm always authentic about the life that we're living, I have a child who is very absent-minded when it comes to certain things. So in today's example, we have an iPad charging wire that is kind of like socks in the dryer. It is constantly being misplaced and lost. So on countless occasions, I have had to replace the iPad charger. And it's typically the same child that is losing the iPad charger. And, the first time, the second time, the third time, the fourth time, mom goes out and replaces it. People make mistakes. That's okay. But I've probably replaced that a lot more than 4 times. And so this most recent time, I decided that son has to face a consequence. There has to be a consequence to mistakes that can be prevented. Mistakes that are just silly mistakes that don't really need to keep happening. So I decided that he was going to pay for the replacement wire. And why that might be, it might be sort of a small expense to some people. It's really about the principle and about teaching them. So what I'm trying to teach him by saying, son, you need to now pay me for the cost of that new wire. That money is coming out of his bank account or his wallet. He's going to feel the pinch of, oh, I made this mistake and now what happened? I have to pay for it. Mom's not going to pay for it anymore. And what I'm trying to teach him is financial responsibility. There is a consequence to our actions or inactions. There is a consequence to making mistakes. And yeah, the first few times that you made the mistake, mom just said it was a mistake, no big deal, we'll go get another wire. But when it's constantly happening, and it's really something that could be preventable, I want him to feel the pain of there is a consequence. And in order to avoid this consequence, what can I do so that I now, as the son, am not feeling the pain of having to replace that wire because I don't need to waste money like that. So now this is the new rule. If you continue to lose that wire, you're going to pay for the replacement. And I'm hoping that that's going to trigger in him, and we're certainly going to continue to talk about what's like a process we can put in place to help you avoid losing the wire. Maybe there's a certain place in the house you should put it. Maybe there's some other thing you should remind yourself of every time you turn off the iPad. Whatever that is that works for that person is fine. But the goal here is, one, you've set up a process where you're going to reduce the amount of times you're losing the wire. And 2 is he's feeling the pinch of the fact that when I do something that's wrong or make a mistake, there's a consequence. Whatever that consequence is, whether it's, in our case, it's a financial consequence now, or some other consequence. There are consequences to our actions and inactions, and that's in everything in life. And so it's really about teaching him a life lesson, and also teaching him the fact that, other than things like love and hugs and smiles, nothing comes free in life. Unfortunately, nothing's free. You make a mistake and you lose something and you have to replace it. Well, then you have to replace it, and it's going to cost something. So that's the story for today, is teaching our kids about financial responsibility and just giving them lessons that are hopefully not difficult lessons, but they get the point across where the children understand the point that you're trying to make, and they become financially responsible. Have a great day.